sends it in. Bobby. Oh, it was there. Bobacy was there as well. Jeremy Bobacy's fourth goal of the tournament gives the Timbers the early lead. To the backside, it bounces in. Sebastian Blanco got there. Is that enough to secure the Timbers' passage into the MLS's back final?
First game of the semifinals, and it was a good one. Jeremy Bobacy having himself a heck of a tournament, and he just added to his goal total right there off the corner kick
from Valeri. And Kai Wagner was sleeping. You gotta mark. You have to get your body in front of a Bobacy. Bobacy did a great job of steering his header, putting the ball down into the ground, and then Andre Blake didn't have enough time to react.
Gio Savarese loved it. All right. Here we are, 29th minute.
Another pen.
And what do you think?
Come on.
Another pen. Portland gives up another pen. Sebastian Blanco, and then it would be Sergio Santos. Oh,
no.
No. The first time
that was the opportunity.
But this is normally Shabilko's role, and we've seen him take those very confidently. So we'll be interested to hear what Jim Curtin has to say. I would imagine Santos, feeling the hot hand, stepped up to take it, but man, did not look confident there.
No, did not. And then another set piece goal. This one off the head of Sebastian Blanco.
But you gotta be marking Blanco, one of the most dangerous players in the field for the Timbers, and you leave him unmarked?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
A couple of defensive lapses for Philadelphia in this one. But then Philadelphia makes it a game here in the 85th minute. Wooten comes on and scores that one. And then they think they've got the equalizer here. Casper Shabilko.
It's off.
Oh,
it is off. They got the call
inches.
Right.
By
I don't know,
inches.
Chuck. That one looks so... As a
Stop
striker,
it,
Chuck,
Calen.
you're calling that off?
Come
on, Chuck.
I'd be unhappy if I'm Shabilko, but you're off. And that's why we have video review, just in case he was on. But he was off. So we didn't even need to go to video review.
Charlie just violating the striker union here.
Hey.
I can't stand for this.
It is what it is.
Oh, boy. Well, here's a look at the game stats for this one. Philadelphia with majority of the possession in this one, but it doesn't matter when Portland can score off set pieces and counter like they do. Right now, we are going to check in on the Philadelphia post-game press conferences. Let's hear what they had to say.
But that believes in us, especially our families in Portland, and defense as well.
Paul Danzer.
Hey, congratulations, Gio. We can just talk about Dario's game tonight in the center defense. Seemed like Dario and Mabiola both had very consistent nights. Talk a bit about Dario's play.
I not only think that Mabiala, Suparic, and the defense was consistent. I think everyone was consistent. The guys that started, the guys that came from the bench, everyone put their part in order to get a very important win. And at the end, we were able to score 2 goals in set pieces. We had opportunities. Unfortunately, we couldn't capitalize those opportunities. But also what we did defensively, we made it very difficult to a very good team, a team that I feel that Jimmy's done a great job to get all the way to here. And at the end, I think, we deserve this win because I think that we made it very difficult and we found 2, good goals to now move to the final. But it's credit to the guys for the hard work that they put today.
Orlando Sanchez, KGW.
This question is for Jeremy. I'm wondering how it feels to make it to the championship after the journey that you guys have gone through, and now to see team after team leave the bubble and you guys are still there.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. We came here with one goal, and that was to lift the trophy at the end of the tournament. And now we're one game away. All the work that we've put in and all the sacrifice that we've put in has all starting to pay off, and we got 90 more minutes, and we've got a full team ready to step in. As you've seen tonight and you've seen in the previous nights, the strength of our group is in the collective. The guys that are coming off the bench, the guys that are being rotated in and out of the team, everyone has come in and put in a shift, and that's why we've gotten to this point. We're used to being in this bubble life. We've done preseason in Costa Rica and been away from our families for extended periods of time. So I just feel that through this whole tournament, we've grown stronger and more bonded together.
Kyle Pinnell.
Yeah, first off, congratulations. And this question's for Gio. Coach, you just talked about the defense, and from your perspective, what were you guys able to do so effectively throughout the game to against the Philadelphia team that played a great game against Kansas City in their last time out to neutralize them, whether it be in the attack or midfielder? What went right from your game plan that was able to hold them so well?
I think the guys execute the plan in a perfect way. The associations that we had in the side to make sure that they didn't penetrate. The hard work in the middle of everybody, starting from the two on top, Valeri and Jebo, making sure that the balls didn't go through, that their midfielders didn't get the ball, that there was no balls around the center and then switch upon of attack. There were a few times that they were able to find those spaces, but it was very rare because of the discipline of the group, how compact we were through the entire lines. And then once we got the ball, then we became dangerous. We kept the ball, we were able to go forward, we created chances, and there were a few moments in which they were able to find those spaces and make it difficult on us. But I think the guys did a fantastic job to stay disciplined in keeping compact, and they didn't have too many chances that I can recall, especially in the balls in behind our defenders. They were not able to find too many. Our guys did a fantastic job.
Kevin Lund.
Hey, this is for Diego. Nick Krupke with Channel 12, Fox 12 back in Portland. Not knowing what the future of this season may hold, if there's going to be any home matches or visiting anymore, what does this final game mean to you? A trophy, a chance to get into the Champions League, and perhaps the final time with this group of guys this season?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot for us. Always, you want to be in a final when you compete a tournament. It was one of our goals when we arrived here in the bubble, so we made it happen. Today, I think the performance was great. We could be more clinical on the chances we had after the second goal, but anyways, overall, it was a great performance, and it would mean a lot for me in this part of my career to get back to Portland with another trophy for our families and for our supporters.
Charles Bone.
Hi, congratulations to all of you guys on the win. This question is for Diego. You've been around the club a long time. It seems like you guys always seize the moment in the knockout situations, Open Cup, playoffs, and now in this tournament. To what do you credit that, and what do you think is behind that?
I think it's the quality of the whole group, right? The coaching staff and the players that we put all the sacrifice, all the energy to make this club bigger, and knowing that all happens into the field, right? And that's it. So besides all the stuff around our environment, we are very focused on our job, on prepare every game and execute it during the game. So it's one more step, and we know that still we have one more game to get the trophy.
Bill?
Yes, hi, congratulations, guys. This question is for Diego. Diego, with a win in the final, you all would qualify for the CONCACAF Champions League. It would be the first for the club since 2016, and the third time you would have played in a CONCACAF Champions League. Just on a personal level, what would it mean to you to be able to return to the CONCACAF Champions League and be able to play in the CONCACAF Champions League once again with the Portland Timbers?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I think it's a type of tournament you always want to be in. It's not easy to get in. It takes a long time during a regular season, and now we are one game to go. So besides winning the tournament, I think it's an extra motivation for me. Personally, I love to play that kind of international competitions. I think it's a lot of prestige for the club, for the league, and you want always being in. And yeah, it's gonna be the third time, so I really want to make it happen and play another time again.
John Rojas.
So the road ends here for the Philadelphia Union, but for Portland, they live to fight another day. They have punched their ticket to the MLS's Back tournament final, and now they await the winner of Orlando and Minnesota. That match happening tomorrow. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the MLS's Back tournament post-game show presented by Audi. I'm Susannah Collins, joined by my fellas, Charlie Davies and Calen Carr. That ended up being a pretty entertaining game, but in the end for Philadelphia, it was just too little, too late, Charlie.
It was, and I think Portland did a fantastic job of taking the New England Revolution blueprint of just sitting back and forcing Philadelphia to be creative and break you down. We saw Portland drop into a 4-4-1-1 with Valeri and then Ebobisse high, and they just sat. And Diego Chara was massive. He was tenacious. He was breaking up plays. He was staying in passing lanes, and he was roughing up Aronson. He wasn't allowing Aronson to roam free in the midfield. Anytime Aronson got on the ball, he was right there to either cut out the pass or use his body well and push Aronson off the ball. It was phenomenal performance from him tonight to get up and down, get on the ball, set the tone for this Portland Timbers team. And I'm really impressed with their determination, their patience to sit back and say, you know how we got here, how we've been successful. Let's be compact and look to play through Blanco, look to play through Valeri, and we'll get our opportunities. And they capitalized. That's Portland Timbers at their best. And you throw in Eric Williamson, the dynamic midfield, to cover when Chara does get out of place, it really completes this team with balance. And this is a team that put in a very impressive performance tonight. Granted, the last 5 or 10, they took off the gas. I think the tired legs played a little bit into it, but they came away with the win and the result.
So, Chuck, hear me out here. So it sounds like you're saying that solid defensive play, getting behind the ball, working in a low block with 2 solid central midfielders protecting your back 4, utilizing set pieces well, like that might actually, and hanging on for dear life at the end, that might actually work in knockout football. That's a recipe for success.
I don't know if you call Blanco really just sitting back and defending, because if you watch this match, as much as it says Philadelphia dominated the stat line, Portland did a fantastic job of playing out of tight spaces, dribbling out of tight spaces, out of problem areas, and creating. Whether it was Blanco or Valeri or Ebobisse, who showed great hold-up play, intelligent runs, this Portland team showed that they're dynamic. Now, it wasn't just lump the ball forward, fight, scrap. It was organized. They also had possession at time. They connected passes. It wasn't just lump the ball forward. They had ideas, and you saw that.
No, Chuck, we agree.
Third.
We agree on this. I'm not taking away.
I know where you were going with this. I know where you were going with this.
No, but that's actually my point. Is people think that recipe is not actual good football, and that's not the way you're supposed to play. But it is a foundational element to playing knockout football. And then, of course, yes, you need the pieces that have the ideas, that can be creative in the final third and attack. But if you look at the way the goals were scored, it was set pieces, right? That's ultimately what punished them. And for Philadelphia to give up 2 set pieces and then to miss a penalty, that's a tall task to try and respond from in a match like this. And give them credit, because they were still in it down to the very end of the match. And if it wasn't for an offside call, this could have gone to extra time, or actually penalties. Excuse me.
I want to talk a little bit about Jeremy Ebobisse, who continues to impress in this tournament. He added another goal to his total for the tournament today. He's got 4. What has been the key for him? Because he is one of these guys that we have talked about for the last few years in MLS as being somebody with such a high ceiling, so much potential, but never could quite find that finishing touch. What has been the difference for Jeremy in this tournament, Charlie?
Well, I
Calen touched on it before.
I don't think that's been the case that he hasn't been able to find the final touch. I mean, the guy scored 11 goals last year, and that was a breakout season already. So what we're seeing right now is just a little bit more of the same, and I think, frankly, just a little bit more trust from the manager to let him continue his run of form. But the matchup on the set piece, we know Jeremy can hurt you in the air. And Wagner, I thought, was a little bit of a mismatch to begin with. And anytime you give a player of that quality in the air a run-up and a little bit of space, it's going to be tough. He took it well, though, because it's one of those where you almost think you need to jump. It comes at you a little quicker. And just to stay disciplined, to stay grounded, and just sort of guide it to the direction it's coming from was a nice finish.
Calen, I knew you were going to bring it up as far as getting an opportunity, because he's shown that he had the talent or the quality, but he didn't really get the trust from Gio, because it was always, we got to look to bring in a DP striker. We always got to look for this main striker because he's not good enough, or we don't think he can get there. Well, after last year and now this preseason, this season, this tournament, he's showing, hey, don't count me out. I can be that guy. Even with a quality player like Niashkoda, who is a finisher, Jeremy Ebobisse is showing I can add more to what you guys want going forward. And I think that's where he's really improved is all areas of his game. He's improved in hold-up play, his runs, his tackling, defensive ball, his work rate on the defensive side of the ball. He's trying to be a better overall player, and I think that's helped the Timbers. It's helped him, certainly. But I think as he gets more playing time and Gio continues to play him and gets that confidence, he's going to thrive, because I think we're starting to see just at the beginning, he's just starting to scratch the surface of how good he can be in this league as a starting striker, as a number 9, because he has the size, because he has the frame and the hold-up play, and he's smart. He's so intellectual. Putting it all together, on the other hand, that's a whole another question. He's starting to do that now because you have guys like Blanco and Valeri who also are starting to believe in him, and that's a big part of it, because you can go out there, you can get the playing time, but if those star players don't believe in you or don't think you have the quality to be there, they're not going to get you the ball. They're not going to get you in the spot into those spots where you can finish. You're starting to see them look for him, and that's been the big difference.
I have a very important question to ask both of you, and that is, who is the bigger breakout star of this tournament, Jeremy Ebobisse or Gio Savarese's reactions? Because I know where I'm going with this. Can you get over how excited this man gets? I mean, honestly, this is the energy that I need right now. Like, just inject this in directly into my veins. Yes,
Susan,
yes.
I've never heard anyone talk about Gio in a negative way. They always say he's right. So passionate. He talks to you. He reasons with you. You may not always agree with it, but at least he comes down to your level and makes you understand why he's making certain decisions. And he's so passionate about the game. How can you not want to play for a coach who's so passionate? If you score and you look over to the bench, it's not a coach who's just like this or doesn't really give you any emotions. He might be happier than you are. And so it's always, I think, invigorating when you have a coach who shows so much passion when you do perform, because it kind of gives you that little spark, like, I'm doing something right, and look, he's loving it. So I'm all about it, but it has to be Jeremy Ebobisse starting to fulfill his potential. Even though it's a close second, it's got to be Jeremy Ebobisse.
I've had the pleasure of interviewing Gio Savarese a handful of times, and he even brings that energy into a pregame interview, a postgame interview, and he so genuinely wants you to comprehend and understand what he is saying. He wants you to know the reasons why he is giving you this answer, and he looks you dead in the eye, and he's so infectious. And I've really enjoyed watching him have success with this Portland Timbers team, and it's been incredible to watch in this tournament. And those reactions are just the icing on the cake for me. So that's my little nugget. Let's change the topic over to Philadelphia, who, had a pretty remarkable run here at the MLS's back tournament. Just as we said, just a little, too little, too late at the end there. When you look back, I know that obviously it's only 30 minutes since the game ended, but when you look back at Philadelphia's overall performance in this tournament, For you, Calen, I know you picked them to win the whole thing, so my condolences, sir. Who for you was their most valuable player, their MVP for Philly throughout the tournament?
Well, it's tough to say because I thought Blake probably overall would be my pick. He was fantastic and didn't really. There was not much he could have done about the goals tonight. The thing with Philly is it really doesn't come down to one player in the way we have seen maybe some other teams survive. They really have, such a plethora of options, whether it's Bedoya getting a goal in that first match just to get them going and get them off to a good start, or the solid backline play of Mark McKenzie and Elliott, who I thought was actually really, really good tonight. And then Brendan Aronson, we see him emerge, Sergio Santos and Shabilka. I mean, they have such a depth. Matero, who really was one of the bright spots to me, the most active player for Philly tonight. So I thought it was a step forward for them in the tournament. And when you look at the way this Philly team has been talking and the way Jim Curtin has been talking, it's saying we want to be considered in that top class, in that top echelon of teams in Major League Soccer. And look, I think they're firmly in that now. I think that this, before leading into the season, from what we've seen, and then I think going ahead, if they hold on to their players, and that is a big if, but they have firmly put themselves, I think, in that top echelon of MLS teams, and didn't get that. They still lack a little bit of experience in moments, and just where you just switch off on a set piece, and that's just so crucial. You can't do that at this time. But I still think that this team has given a really good account of themselves throughout the tournament, and credit to Portland because they made it hard tonight. They shut down that middle of the midfield. They gave Brendan Aronson a real run. They did not allow him to find much joy. He still found a little bit late, but it was hard to find space in that line. So credit to Portland, but I think Philadelphia, is still a club that is in a big way on the rise. And even if they do sell their players, to me, those young guys, that's a positive, not just for Philly, but I think for the league, because you get to see these players develop just like we saw tonight and just like what we've seen throughout this tournament. And yeah, if they go on and have success elsewhere, clap them off. I still think what they've done has been really bright.
Charlie, what about for you? Who's been your standout from Philadelphia?
I think, to what Calen said, it's Brendan Aronson, Mark McKenzie, Andre Blake. To be exact, Sergio Santos had some bright moments. Not tonight, but typically he was on the front foot, took his opportunities well. Tonight, they didn't play enough penetrating balls in behind Portland because Portland sat back. And if you don't get behind Portland, if you don't have Mabiala and Zuparic turn around and play facing their goal, you're not going to cause problems. Villafana likes to go forward. You got to play in behind him, test him. They didn't do that enough. And I feel that if they could have been a little bit more proactive with their final pass, it would have created more space, would have created more opportunities. That's what we saw at the end of the game, and it was just too little, too late. This Philly side has a lot to build off of, and I think there were a lot of positives in this tournament. So Jim Curtin's going to go back to Philadelphia, and I think he's going to be pleasantly surprised with the performances from a lot of his squad and be pleased with it, because I think overall this Philly team finally looks like a complete team, a team that can compete for an MLS Cup. Like Calen said, they are one of the top teams. They're in the upper echelon of Major League Soccer.
Yeah, lots to be proud of for that Philly team. Sad to see him go. All right, guys, time for our Audi Goals Drive Progress. And during the MLS is Back tournament, with every goal scored, Audi will contribute $1,000. There were 3 goals tonight, and so far there have been 139 tournament goals, which totals $139,000. And during the MLS is Back tournament championship match, every goal scored is worth $5,000. And in addition, Audi will contribute $10,000 to the MLS is Back tournament Golden Boot Winners Academy Club. So with that, let's take a look at the Golden Boot presented by Audi standings. I don't think anyone's going to catch Diego Rossi, but the only guy who could on this list is Jeremy Ebobisse, who we've been talking a ton about because he has been such a factor in this tournament. 4 goals. He had 1 tonight to add to his total. You never know They await the
will be
winner
quite the
of
final. It will be
Orlando
quite the
and
final.
Minnesota. You just don't know what can
you're right.
happen. Never say never, kids. This is the MLS's back tournament we're talking about. Come on, let's have some fun. And speaking of,
Don't
guys,
disrespect Orlando and Minnesota, Susanna. You don't want to do that.
I am not
Don't do it.
disrespecting anybody. I am so excited for this match. I'm not kidding. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Orlando taking on the Loons. That's on ESPN2. I was excited for this game. You know, it's the semifinals, but for many reasons, and I think
This is what you
contributing
picked?
to all the storylines. I just am so pumped for this game. I really cannot wait to see what happens because I don't know what to expect. Orlando have been this team that has just found a way in every game. They have found a way. Calen, to your point, they have shown tremendous amount of character, these late game goals that they've been able to come up with. And then there's Minnesota, the underdogs who, you know, the world's against us. Nobody likes us. We get no respect. And, you know, you put on top of that the Adrian Heath factor, you know, coming up against his former team. It's just so juicy.
It's juicy.
And I'm
juicy.
very, very, very excited for it. What are you guys anticipating from this one, Charlie?
Well, we saw an underdog win tonight. That's all I'm going to say. Tomorrow, Orlando are the underdogs. Were they? I don't know, but they were. I'm expecting Orlando to go out and press like they did against LAFC. Press. Try and see if Minnesota can play in behind, if they can play out of pressure. They're going to test them. And then you have to be smart on set pieces. I can tell you, you don't want to give up corner kicks. You don't want to foul any Minnesota players around your box. And Minnesota, they're going to look to just play down the right. That's their strong side, whether it's Hassani Dotson, whether Matt Nair can be back, Ethan Finley. And I think we're all waiting to see Amaria. How good can he be? Because if he can be the X factor and score goals for them and create goals out of nothing, he completely changes the dynamic of Minnesota United, because now you have a striker who can create on his own, pounce on loose balls, and be available, whether it's over the top or showing. And I think this is going to be an interesting game because both coaches want it. Both know they're right there. They've pushed every button, and they've gotten their squads to believe in winning this championship. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
They both deserve to be there. You know, we did an interview with Tesho Akindele on the call up yesterday, and I asked him about the whole underdog status, and he had such a good answer. He was just like, at this point, like, no one's an underdog. You know, like, we're in the semifinals. We've proved that we belong here, and I was like, there it is. I think you just, it's almost like this tournament is so unique, and there has been so many unexpected results that have occurred. And so I think that you just kind of have to approach this as just like, you know, these are two teams that have proven they deserve to be there.
Calen, go ahead.
Yeah,
I knew
no
Calen
underdogs.
wanted to say something. He was ready to pounce.
Chuck, you know me too well, man. No, I think Orlando is the favorite in this one, and because of anytime a team beats LAFC, I think for me you have to say they have the momentum and the way that they're playing. I also think they have a little bit more quality going forward. Nani has been tremendous, a big time player. Where I'm looking at these matches and I'm saying, okay, what I saw from Sebastian Blanco tonight, where a guy you're just like, all right, this guy may be able to win a match in a tough situation. And Nani fits that bill for me. And I'm not necessarily sure if Amaria is that guy or if Minnesota United has that person on their team. But the one thing I'll say about Minnesota United is they are tough to beat. They are hard to beat. They have made themselves a nuisance, and they've shown a couple different ways of doing it, where they kind of came out and pressed a little bit and tried to out San Jose, which was definitely not what we were expecting. But Charlie, you mentioned it too.
Now you're going on the motivational video before the game tomorrow. Well done. You've already
what I'm here for.
Yeah, you're
Why do you think we do these
you're going to be the
streams?
bulletin tomorrow. Calen says Orlando's the favorite. Yeah. Just know
Adrian,
you're going
that's
on
what
that
I'm
video
here
screen
for,
tomorrow. You're in the locker room
No,
tomorrow.
I mean, but yeah, sure, I'll take it. But I think, you know, I'm also giving them credit to say that they have the recipe to win a match like this, where we saw tonight how set pieces can play a huge role, and then being compact defensively. You know, they've got Ozzy Alonso and Greg Goosh in front of their front three. It's similar to what we've seen from Chara and Williamson tonight. So I think Minnesota United for sure. They could get through to the final for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly, whatever the outcome is tomorrow, I'll be like, yep, okay, that's exactly what was supposed to happen, because it's just literally anything goes, anything can happen. That game tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And don't forget, I am so excited for our pregame show tomorrow, because I feel like it's just going to get really, really heated and spicy. MLS Today, presented by AT&T. You can watch on MLSsoccer.com, MLS Facebook, and Twitter. And then, of course, join us for the MLS's Back Tournament post-game show presented by Audi. We will be right back here to wrap up the semifinal action for you, so you don't want to miss that. But, guys, thanks so much for hanging with us. Hope you enjoyed the games. Hope you enjoyed the show. We will see you mañana.